your hands in the air, it's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
mixing sodas with the beer, it's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
so why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here, y'all.
Throw your hands in the air, it's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
mixing sodas with the beer, it's
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
so why don't everybody cheer it?
Dr. Do, Dr. Do.
This is the one right here, y'all.
You got
What is y'all, your social media platform artist and the host of the great YouTube channel. I'm your host, the one and only Dr. Dude here, y'all. How are we on this wonderful Saturday morning right here, y'all? Good morning everyone. Good morning, Texas. Because today's video, we're going to give you guys something good right here, y'all. Something that you want to hear, okay? I want to talk to you guys about tanks, alright? This is a military tank video that all you guys like military history and tanks. Well, this is the video you guys want to hear about, alright y'all? So, in this video, we need to talk about the Russian tanks. Russian tanks have been used by multiple countries all over the world since the Cold War era. And these tanks, what did I say about them? They're bad. They're very bad. To me, yeah, I know what you guys thinking. How bad are the Russian tanks, Dr. Do? Tell us about why they're so bad to be used in combat. Well, before we get started, you guys new to the YouTube channel, please subscribe to the channel. Alright y'all, hit notification down below. Comment down below what you guys think about my opinion about the tanks itself. And also, you guys want Dr. Do merch? Go to Cotton Beer to get you guys self shirt, jacket, hoodie, hat wears, or you record drinkware right here. Dr. Do right here. And also, you guys want something even good for y'all? Something healthy and stuff? Well, let me show you something right here, y'all. Go to Beach Chart to get you guys hydration and energy powder right here, y'all. These things can help you go through the whole entire day and night right there. Plus, be sure to get one of these protein powder right here, y'all. You guys need protein in your body. You need muscles, alright y'all? Muscle. Okay, without further ado, let's get this started, okay y'all? So, about the history with the Russian tank, we go back to the Cold War between the Soviets versus the USA. The USA during the night, right after the World War II had collapsed, I mean ended, alright y'all? Since then, the Soviets and the United States have been fighting each other in an ideology battle between democracy versus communism. And also, the Cold War have brought in a lot of new technology in that era. Throughout the whole entire history of it, mostly tanks were used in combat, or even corps been used by different countries. Alright, so during the 50s, alright, USSR was still using the T-34 tanks when it became the most popular tank of the Soviet era during World War II against German tanks itself, becoming the best World War II tank of all time. Yeah, hold on a second. A little bit of this. And also, since the Cold War, ever since the Korean War happened, many Warsaw Pacts were worried about the potential that the T-34 tank are not used in the Cold War combat at all, or even of course. Okay, yeah, much better. So anyway, since the T-34 were not useful to the Soviet Union, the Soviet Union wanted to create a newer tank that would become more tougher and more powerful cannon than the T-34 tanks have on their arsenals and stuff. So during the mid-50s, a new tank came out. It became known as the T-55 Russian tank right there. It was said that it had armament that is like 110 millimeter cannon. It also much lower than the T-34 tank. You know, like the turrets. Yeah, the turret is like a little more flatter as well. And also bigger and have more of a weight than the T-34 tank had of its time. So by the release of the T-55 tanks, many Western powers wanted to test how tough this tank really is in combat. And also, this tank, what changes that the tank would be showing in combat against the Western powers. So by the 60s itself, there've been like a multiple production cells around the whole entire Middle Eastern countries such as Syria, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq and stuff. They became allies with the Soviets because of Israel being allied with the Western power of it at that time. You know, ever since the first Arabic War against Israel, both sides see the opportunity to see how the tanks that Israel got from the Western powers and how the tank from the Arabic nation that their tank can be from the Soviet side. And so one war showed it all right there. By the late 1960s, the Six-Day War had begun. And the tank from the Israeli side that are like consists of Zenturian or Sherman tanks that got put together like different pieces and mixed them into a tank that they believe that can help defend Israel, which it did. And also during that Six-Day War, Egyptian army have lost over thousands of their tanks against the Israelis, which was an embarrassment to the Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact itself. And so they had decided to make a newer tank called the T-62 tank or the T-66 as a new generational tank in the Cold War era. And so it's been used again by the same Arabic army and all of that. While I'm talking about how they go back, I'm telling you why. Because those tanks on the Russian side are getting more destroyed than what the Western tank have been during the Cold War era. Do you see where I'm going? Now you understand that why the Soviet tanks are very bad, because they lose more of them over than the Western powers. Okay? The T-55, the T-66, 62s, and 70s all had major flaws. Alright? It's design. Look at that. Look at their design. Do you guys see they all look the same, just with different cannons and different monuments and stuff? Yeah. But the looks are always been the same. Always been the same since the beginning. Alright? And then, what else? Its armor. Its armor cannot protect its crew members. Because when you think about it, their hull and their armor is basically iron steel. But you have to put some sort of armor tank stuff on the tank in order to prevent it to be destroyed, which is another problem with that. Okay? It's because Western powers have weapons that can easily destroy armor-pierced tanks, even with armor on a tank too, you know. You guys have seen a lot of video of the Russian tank being destroyed even though it had armor plating on there. Western powers use a different armor plating, or I know as chalkbone armor, chakram armor is like 10 times tougher than steel armor itself. Why do you think we Western power used that in the Abrams tanks, or the Challenger tank, or the Leopard tanks? Alright, y'all? I mean, the reason why, because the Russian military doesn't have any modern equipment or even core technology which we Western people have always been using throughout the whole entire lives right there. And also, when you think about the Russian tanks itself, they are not capable of not just fighting at all, because also, when you look inside of a Russian tank, it's cramped in there. That's why they had a crew of 3 people in the tank. Alright, because when you go in there, it's so cramped that you barely move your whole entire body in the tank itself. You have to be like 5'3" or 5'4" to be in the tank. If you are a 6-footer, they will put you down in that tank turret. Alright? Where they had 3 people to put you down there, or if for 5. And all of the tank designs, they got auto turret tank. Auto turret. Which is not that bad, because auto turret can be useful, because it's much faster than what American loaders had to do in their Abrams tank. But however, the flaw about this, you got the crew itself is sitting under on top of the ammo shells in the Russian tanks. Alright, that is like the very, very bad thing, to put a tank shells under the crew itself. When you think about it, why you think the Abrams tank has a box shell behind their turrets? Alright, they get it out of there by opening this door, like automatic door, to get the shells from the loaders right there. Instead of putting that on their tanks in Russia, they put it under there. That is a bad design right there. Like I said, a very bad design. And also, they're smaller than the Abrams tank. Have you ever seen an image of the Russian tanks, like the T-80 size to the Abrams tank? Very small. Alright, y'all? It's so bad that Russian tanks have more lives being taken by the tank itself, like the crew itself, because it's like they don't survive in the Russian tank. When you get hit by a artillery, you're done. There's no way to escape out of the Russian tanks. That's why you don't see nobody survive any Russian tank if you are a lucky one. And also, what comes to happen to your body, it'll be incinerated. On top of the shell will incinerate your body completely. You won't find any bones in those tanks at all. That is basically a quick death. Also, you won't be able to feel it at all. I can't believe how the Russian military had not even have been designing a new tank that doesn't look like the old tank. I mean, really, what kind of, to me, is that they don't care, because they don't have the quality armor, quality way to protect their crew at all. They've been always been behind Western power and military tank defenses. They pick quantity over quality. Get it? Russian tanks rather do quantity than quality. Why do you think they had the most tanks in the world for? Because they prefer to make more tanks than making them into quality ones. That's why you don't see that's why you see many tanks been destroyed in combat, because the Russian military doesn't care. As long as you pay for them, as long as you know how to use the tank, it's not our fault. I mean, it is your fault because you designed these tanks. Alright? Okay, so go back to the history right here. The Golan Heights War. following the aftermath of what happened in the Golan Heights War between Israel and Syria and Egypt. Egypt had fed up with the Soviet tanks all the way. All the military staff are fed up with that stuff now. They realized that the tanks that Russia had been giving them is not protecting their men or their crew. They decided to go and find another tank partner with another nation, with the United States. Egypt decided to make alliance with America and decided to ditch buying the Russian tanks. Decided to get some Western tanks, such as the M16 tanks. The M60 tanks in the U.S. military. Why do you think we see Egypt today has the second most Abrams tank in the world for? We basically had Egypt switch sides with us. In exchange for their support, we would give them Western tanks, which caused some Middle Eastern countries to be mad with Egypt. But hey, Egypt made a good decision of getting American tanks because American tanks protect their crew better than the Soviet tanks. Will you rather continue using tanks that do not protect your men and your whole entire military? Exactly. Alright? So, the main problem of why people cannot stop buying Russian tanks, that's the problem right there, because they're much cheaper than buying Western tanks. Alright? When you look at the sales itself, you wanna know how much it is for one tank from the Russian military? $1,300,000. But compared to the Abrams tank, that's more than that. $2,100,000. Alright? That's the real reason why people rather buy these tanks, because much cheaper than the Western tanks. Alright? Only mostly third world countries buy them because to help them fight off their either part of the civil war or attempt to overthrow the government itself. Get what I mean? That's why Russia's economy didn't go down, because Russia is still selling tanks to any third world countries and fighting in their proxy wars. Alright, y'all? And also, Russian tanks have been always another problem. Alright? Remember the T-14 Armada tank? That tank is a fraud. That tank is not really the most powerful tank ever. It may look like it's big and strong, but however, it's just a part of the propaganda with Vladimir Putin portrayed the T-14 tanks as the new generation. But it's not really a generational tank, it's just a propaganda tank that looks like a real tank. We always see some flaws with the tank itself, alright? Russian tanks are really bad, alright? I would never want to use a Russian tank in combat, not ever, because I always see Russian tanks as terrible uses in wars. And to this day, the world still using Russian tanks to this day. I wish someday there would be new design of a Russian tank, one that could protect the crew itself. We always see like millions of men that use tanks and die in battle. Alright, y'all? We always see that with the U.S. versus Iraq. Alright? Israel against the Arabic nations. Okay? And then we see other conflicts that we are seeing to this day, and also the Russian-Ukraine war, which over 7,000 tanks were destroyed during the whole entire 3-year conflict. It's crazy, right, y'all? And there you have it. This is one of the reasons why how bad all Russian tanks. Oh yeah, you guys want me to tell you what my scale to the Russian tank to 1 to 10? A 2. 2 out of 10 for the Russian tanks. T-70s, T-72s, T-80s, and T-90s. Alright, those are so They all look the same. Just different armaments and artillery. That's it. They look the same, but different firepower. Okay? There you have it. Okay, y'all? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope y'all have a great day. I'll see you guys next time. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit notification down below. Comment down below. And I see you guys next time. Alright, y'all? Peace out.